I'm having a bit of a down day, and I was sitting here wondering why I was having such a down day. And I think it's because the calendar is turned. It is April 2nd at the time of this recording, 2018, and it's the beginning of quarter two. And for me, I don't know about you, quarter one wasn't as awesome as I wanted it to be. So I'm sitting here feeling kind of crummy, feeling kind of down, feeling kind of Hilda-y. And I thought I would come on here and go live and just talk a little bit about how quarter one went and figure out what I'm going to do differently for quarter two. Now, I'm really nervous about this because it's being kind of vulnerable with you to admit to the fact that everything didn't go swimmingly. Everything wasn't all sunshine and rainbows like I wanted to be. It just wasn't. I worked really hard. I worked really diligently, but I wasn't as consistent as I needed to be with a lot of things. It didn't follow through on some of the smaller things that I have complete control over because I was obsessing about the things where I have little control over. I kept getting in my own head about all the things that I could be doing instead of focusing on all the things I had committed to actually doing. So upon reflection, I realized that the biggest lever for making Q2 much more sexy than Q1 for me would be to get consistent. I'm always working on some big project or some big initiative in my business. I bet you are too. And frankly, I'm always working on some big project or initiative in my personal life. But what I really need right now isn't something big. It's actually those little things, the smaller things that need to happen on a consistent basis. The things I need to do every single day, every single work day, every single week, every other week, every single month, every single quarter. These are those things that I know are going to move the needle. For example, again, this is being really transparent and vulnerable with you guys, but you deserve nothing less. I had a goal in March, just for the month of March, to produce 20 videos for YouTube. And I didn't just say produce 20 videos. I wanted to produce 20 really solid, perfectly optimized YouTube videos. And I also wanted to do 4 live streams. And so I put it on my pretty little notebook because that's how I roll. And on my pretty little notebook, you can see I did 1 video and 0 live streams. I'm hiding my head in shame. And I'm sharing this with you because somebody has to say this. You know, most of the time, especially life coaches right now, are coming on screen and doing their little live streams and telling you about how they are the masters of the universe and they have no problems whatsoever and they always get everything done because, you know, they're life coaches or business coaches and of course they're perfect and walking on water. That ain't me. That is not me. Now, I'm not here to say I'm a hot mess either. What I'm here to say is that I'm reflective. And that's all I want for you right now. If you're sitting somewhere and you woke up this morning, you started your Monday thinking, oh gosh, I don't like how 2018 is going. I'm just not happy with my performance. I'm not happy with the number of clients I'm getting. I'm not happy with the number of videos I'm putting out. I'm not happy with how things are going. You can change it today, randomly, on April 2nd, if you want to. You can wait till April 6th if you want to, but you can start right now. I think a lot of us feel like we're the only ones that don't have our poop in a group, right? Everybody else that's in the entrepreneurial world seems to just be clicking and making things happen and kicking ass and taking names without any problem. And their hair stays perfect and their eyeshadow is exactly where it needs to be. And their children are perfect and all these perfect little things. It is not true. The truth is we get in our own way. Even the person who calls herself the sought after expert in Hilda has been wrestling with Hilda all day because I want to do more and I know I can do more. But for some reason, I keep thinking in these big projects. So I want to encourage you to get really granular, to get really specific about the things that you could be doing every single day. Frankly, I'm telling you exactly what I said on Friday to the Get Out of Your Own Way community, the folks that are in the Get Out of Your Own Way program. We were talking about this, the C word, consistency. And when I brought it up, the groans were off the charts. You should have saw these faces. They were like, oh gosh, I don't want to talk about that. It was quite funny. It's very comical. And at that moment, I was being Coach Jennie. I had my Coach Jennie hat on, right? So I'm coaching and encouraging them and telling them about all these things they could be doing consistently. And then over the weekend, it's been eating away at me that I'm just not walking the talk. And anytime my business is rocking and moving, anytime my life is firing on all cylinders, it's because I'm being consistent with just a handful of things that I know are going to move the needle. So there's 3 different categories of consistency I want you to think about. 3 different life compartments I want you to have consistent activities in, and I want you to build these out in different frequencies. So the frequencies are daily, weekly, bi-weekly, and monthly. Let's just focus on that. And let's just focus on the month of April. Let's not even focus on a whole quarter. Let's just focus on April. If you could be extraordinarily diligent about keeping consistent with 3 things every day, 3 things every week, 3 things every other week, and 3 things this month, how much would that move the needle for you? In the 3 life compartments, the first one is in your self-care. Okay? I know, I'm a life coach. I have to talk about self-care. It's a rule they take away by toaster oven, so keep up. So the first thing is, what is something you can do every single day that's going to help you with your self-care? My commitment to that is I'm going to drink at least 80 ounces of water every single day for the month of April. See how simple that is? It's a very specific thing. 80 ounces is actually a little lower than where I want to go, but I'm making it an at least 80 ounces because I know that that is completely attainable for me. It's not something I have to work terribly hard at. I just have to do it. And I have to remind myself that I made a commitment to do it. That's what consistent activities is about. It's not about saying, I will consistently run a 10K every morning. No, it doesn't need to be this large, ridiculous sized thing. It needs to be something that you can completely commit to, and you know that the only thing you have to do to make that thing happen is get off your tush and do it. There's really no wiggle room there. And I'm saying this so specifically because there's no wiggle room. You either drank 80 ounces of water or you did not. They seem so tiny. It seems really small. It seems insignificant. But here's the thing. If I drink that 80 ounces of water for the next 30 days in a row, that's a lot of flipping water. And it's a really great habit to be getting into, and it's going to hydrate my body. And I don't have to explain this further. Water, pretty basic, right? But by making the commitment to doing this every single day and using, this video to be a little more publicly accountable, it is really going to push me forward. So that's an example of the first life compartment I want you to think about when it comes to your consistent activities for moving the needle going into Q2. The second one is what I call passive marketing activities. So passive marketing activities are not saying, I'm not talking about passive income. I'm splitting hairs between passive marketing and active marketing. Passive marketing is any marketing where you're putting your brand in front of people to expose them to your brand. You're saying, hi, here's my shingle. Check me out. I exist. That's what passive marketing is. It's not negative. It's not positive. It just is. And a lot of us, when we write a blog post or we publish a YouTube video or things like that, it's a really good example of passive marketing. And if we do that consistently, not just during a launch, it makes a big difference, right? It always makes me think of, for example, Marie Forleo every single Tuesday for as long as I can remember has been doing her Q&A Tuesdays. That is really just an extraordinary, consistent activity of a weekly passive marketing activity that she has done that slowly over time has raised her visibility so that everybody knows who the heck Marie Forleo is. So that's an example of a passive marketing consistent activity. So for you, the same thing. I want to know, what are you going to do? Pick a passive marketing activity that you can do every day, every work day, every week, every other week, and every month. Pick one for each of those categories under first, self-care, and the second for passive marketing. So for passive marketing, my commitment is a weekly one, to give you another example. So every single week, I am going to publish at least 2 YouTube videos. Once again, so my passive marketing consistent activity commitment for the month of April is I'm going to publish at least 2 YouTube videos every single week. By filling out this kind of chart of here's the things I'm going to do daily, here are the things I'm doing weekly, in these different life categories, you're really going to move the needle. Finally, the big finish is, of course, active marketing. So if you're in business and you're just saying, hey, check out my Instagram, aren't I pretty? That's not actually a business. That's a glorified hobby, my friend. You have to ask for business every once in a while as well. So I want to really push your thinking here. If you don't have a booked solid business yet, if you don't have a booked solid business yet, then active marketing can really move the needle for you in Q2. So what are things that you can do every single day? What is something you can do every single week, every other week, and every month for the next quarter that is really going to actively ask for business? That's the big difference. Passive marketing says, hi, my business exists. Active marketing says, hi, buy my thing, invest in me, buy my book, join my program, join my community. It actually invites people to take some sort of action. Depending on how far you push it, it may be active or passive, right? A Q&A, which is like, hey, I have this Q&A, get to know me. That's a really good passive marketing tool. But a weekly webinar or weekly workshop is an example of active marketing. So for my commitment for the month of April, because I want to give you an example of how I am actually walking the talk this time, is every single Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific time, I am hosting the Want More workshop, which is an active marketing opportunity where I'm letting people get a sense and kick the tires of what it's like to be in Get Out of Your Own Way. So to me, that is an active marketing opportunity because at the end of that conversation, I am going to invite people to learn more about my program. Just because it's active marketing doesn't mean it's greasy used car salesman, right? But I am creating an opportunity to ask for business every Wednesday. You're picking up what I'm putting down. How do you think consistency could change for you? I would love for you to go ahead and fill out your consistent activities. What are the things you're going to do consistently for your self-care, for your passive marketing, and for your active marketing in the month of April? And then give yourself a moment to think about, how could that change things for you? If you actually followed through and you were consistent on those things and those things only, think about how much more progress you would have made. I hear this complaint all the time. When you're thinking about consistent activities, you're like, how on the earth am I going to make time for consistent activities with all these other things on my plate? Here's the thing. Those consistent activities are the easy things. They're Hilda-proof. They're Hilda-proof because once you make these commitments and you keep them within the range I've just described, you've made sure that they're completely attainable. You know whether or not you did it, right? I know whether or not I drank 80 ounces. I'll know whether or not the Want More workshop happened. I'll know whether or not I've actually hit publish on a YouTube video. And you'll know too, because those are things that people can see. You did it or you didn't. They're not things that get a grade. They're not things that I will make an X number of dollars. That's a goal. That's not a consistent activity. I want these activities to be so clear that you can take a black pen and check it off of a checklist that it is done. It is complete. If you have it written in those terms, then you're still working on things that are more aspirational. And again, not a bad thing, but I want to complement those aspirational goals. I want to make $10,000 by Tuesday stuff with consistent activities that you can commit to right now and follow through on. What do you think? Yin? This is me telling you that I no longer want to be just kind of moving the needle a little bit at a time because I'm being inconsistent. I know that consistency can completely change my business because whenever I am at my best, I am following through on my consistency plans. So every single month, I want to make sure I take time to figure out what are the things that I need to do daily, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, quarterly that I know are really going to change a game for me. And I want you to do that for yourselves too. And while I'm here, not for nothing, on Wednesday at 10 a.m., I'm hosting the Want More workshop. If you would like more information about that, I'm going to drop the link below. It's a free workshop. It's not a webinar where I'm going to be talking at you. It's actually a workshop where you're going to join a Zoom room and hang out with me and get a sense of what it's like to be coached by me and be part of my group coaching experience. So that's happening on Wednesday and it's free. I would love to see all of you there. All right, friends. So thank you so much for tuning in here and listening to me have my little confessional moment, and I'm going to go and finish out my consistency plan. Bye, guys. Oh, there's a little button to click, and I don't know why. One moment, please. There we go. Sorry, new technology. Well, hello there, Coach